Hello, Dr. Jay Hitson here with Transformation Life Centers. What does it mean to be healthy at the cellular level? Well, first of all, the human body is made up of over 37 trillion different cells. They are literally the building blocks of our bodies. Now, the cells take on the nature of the system of which they are in, and the health of the cell will dictate the health of that system, whether it's the cardiovascular, the neurological, the endocrine, the digestive, whatever system those cells are a part of, those cells take on that nature. So the health of the cells dictate the health of the system, and the health of the systems dictate the health of the body. So at a very fundamental level, we can alter the health of the entire human body by altering the health of the cells. Now, cellular biology is incredibly complicated, and I'm not going to get into all of the different intricacies of the entire metabolic system of the cell, but we're going to get into the three major components that we here at Transformation Life Centers address to get you healthy at the cellular level. Those three areas are nutrients, they are hydration, and they are neurology. So let's actually talk about hydration first, because that's one of the easier topics. These cells require hydration in order to absorb nutrients or even the neurology. So we have cells that are shaped like a sphere, right, like a grape. If that grape is hydrated and plump, it has plenty of surface membrane. So there's plenty of room around that circle, that sphere, to absorb nutrients through, because that's how cells absorb their nutrients, is through the membrane. Now, what happens when a cell becomes dehydrated? Imagine the grape versus the raisin, a dehydrated grape. Whenever that cell gets dehydrated, it shrivels up and they clump up. So whenever we see those, actually, if you look under a microscope, they actually look like almost like centipedes instead of individual big healthy cells. We see this centipede mess of combobulated cells all stuck together, which drastically reduces the surface membrane and then therefore the ability to absorb nutrients. So on an extremely basic level, we have to be hydrated. And if you aren't hydrated, even if you're eating all the right foods, and even if all of your other systems and neurology and everything is working, you will not be able to get those messages because there's no surface membrane. The surface membrane is shrunk so much that it can't absorb anything. And that's one of the big factors when I'm talking to a lot of patients about their various nutrition and the supplements that they're taking. If you're taking all these supplements but you're not taking on adequate hydration, you are really wasting a lot of your resources because you're not able to absorb without the hydration. So very, very fundamental level, hydration. How much hydration should you be having? Well, the simple rule is you should be drinking half your body weight in ounces. So for instance, if you weigh 200 pounds, you require 100 ounces of water a day. And that's not including if you're taking on alcohol or caffeine. Those things dehydrate you even more, so you require even more water. So very fundamental basics, hydration. Number two is nutrients. Now, we require various nutrients based on what system we're talking about. So certain systems of the body require different nutrients in order to perform their functions. And again, you have to be taking in these nutrients. Now, whether you take that in through your whole foods, which is what we really try to encourage all of our patients here, is to eat healthy, go to the grocery store, buy these foods. It's the best way to get in the nutrients, or supplementation. Now, my philosophy on supplementation is I always want to start with whole foods, and then we see where we are getting with regards to either your blood panels or just your symptomatology, and then we start adding supplements along the way. But you have to have the nutrients required for the cells to perform their function according to that particular system. And I really do recommend that if supplementation is something that you think you need, either because of dietary restrictions or because you just simply don't like a lot of the foods that you know you need to be eating, then you do want to be looking into our blood panels to find out exactly what you need, and not simply be taking this particular pill or supplement because you have this particular symptom or because some newspaper article told you to. Now, on the third level of cellular health is neurology. Each cell has to perform a function. And the function is dictated by what system it's in. So cardiovascular cells do operate very differently than, for instance, the digestive cells, and the endocrine cells work very differently from the reproductive cells. So the function, though, is coordinated by the nervous system. Each cell has to be getting the right messages, and that comes from the central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord, sending messages out through all of the different peripheral nerves. And how we get interference in that system can happen on a lot of levels, but from the spine we do find a lot of different levels of interference, and that's why we're working on your spine, is to make sure that you have the optimum neurological function and your cells are getting the proper messages. Now, once we restore neurological function, once we restore the neurological impulses and the cells are getting those right messages, then we have to be aware of the cellular turnover time. So, for instance, once a cell it's become unhealthy or it's been damaged, we have to wait for the turnover time. Basically, each cell does reproduce, depending on which system it's in, how fast that turnover time. Some systems are as fast as 3 days. Some systems, like your liver, for instance, can be years. Once we have that turnover time, we start producing healthier and more of the right kind of cells, we start to see the various symptoms and we start to see the various systems turning around. And that's where we see the totality of disease reversal. So, to make a very complicated point extremely easy, we have to have the cells hydrated. We have to get them the nutrients they need, and they have to get the messages telling them what to do. Once they get that, any cells that have been damaged, we need to recycle all of those through and get healthier ones in their place. That turnover time is on average about 90 days. And that's why a lot of our care plans are designed around this 90-day cellular turnover. Again, some systems are a lot faster than that, like your intestinal wall goes a lot faster. Once we see you get healthy at the cellular level, that's how we're able to address not the symptoms, but the systems, and we're able to get you at your optimum level of function. So, this is what we are all about here at Transformation Life Centers, getting you healthy at the cellular level.